Hey, it's Wednesday, December 16th. Time is marching on. I hope everybody's having a good day. You want some, do we have any time for history today? I think we do. But before we talk about, well, this includes history. I learned today, and I was a little upset about this, that a famous tavern in New York may be closing. It's called the Francis Tavern, except you spell Francis, F-R-A-U-N-C-E-S. It was opened in 1762. It's downtown New York near the South Street Seaport. And George Washington used to go there. I've been there a few times with family. They have, the meals are replicas of what they served back then. And then they have a nice bar as well. It's near the financial district too. And it might be closing because the governor and the mayor of that city, they closed all indoor dining. And it's snowing there today. Who wants to sit outside in the snow? So the bars the places can't stay open. But when I saw that, I was, it brings back memories because I think I went there for one of the birthdays. And I forget when else we went there. Yeah, because my brother's birthday is in February and my son's birthday is in June, so we've been there different seasons. The food is reasonably priced, and you can get a tour of the tavern. It's very historical. It might be closing. I'm upset by that. I'll be honest with you, But so. Today's birthday, Leslie Stahl, which is, I think she's a journalist. She's born in 1941. And my favorite classical composer, Ludwig van Beethoven. He was born in 1770 and died in 1827. My favorite piece of music by him was the Ninth Symphony, Ode to Joy. And also, I always forget the name of this piece of music. It's the Emperor's Sonata. Let me see. Where is it? I love the piece of music. I recognize it as soon as it comes on because it starts out. It's a piano concerto. It's not a sonata. Piano concerto, number 5 in E flat major. The Emperor, Opus 73. Starts out slow and then it gains speed, and I just love that piece of music. Plus, like I said, he's my favorite classical composer. I was raised on classical music. I know a lot about a lot of different music, and I'm a big fan of folk music as well. But, like I said, I started out with classical music. I had piano lessons as a kid and then took them again. I have a keyboard here. I'm not saying I'm a great pianist. I'm not. I don't have the hands for it. But I appreciate good music. So, happy birthday, Ludwig. Poor man lost his hearing later in life. Still composed. Amazing. And I didn't look further into this, the fact. I had to look up other stuff. I didn't have to. I just find this fun. In France, it's legal to marry a dead person. I should look that up and see why is that legal. I don't know. Also, the Battle of the Bulge occurred on this day in 1944. Well, it started. The battle lasted until January 15th. So it lasted a whole month. And it began as German forces launched a surprise counterattack against Allied forces in Belgium. And Germany was not able to seize the initiative they were looking for on the Western Front, but they inflicted heavy losses and set back the Allied invasion of Germany by several weeks. So the initial plan was to seize Germany by the beginning of January, and they weren't able to do that until the end of January. Amazing. And General Patton had something to do with the victory too. That was one of my favorite movies, Patton. He was my father's favorite general. He said we wouldn't have half the problems we did after the war if they had listened to Patton. Very opinionated man, but a great military general. You know, it takes a certain mindset for that. I don't have it. No. But I appreciate we need our military. And also on this day, the Boston Tea Party occurred. And what the Boston Tea Party was, a group of Massachusetts colonists disguised as Mohawk Indians boarded 3 British tea ships and dumped 342 chests of tea into Boston Harbor. It was in protest of the British Parliament's Tea Act of 1773. Samuel Adams organized the Tea Party with about 60 members of the Sons of Liberty. British government was very mad, of course, and they responded by enacting the Coercive Act, also known as Intolerable Act. That came a couple months later. It was a series of 4 acts, including closing the port of Boston until the damages were paid. They had a governor's council, which had been elected to represent the people. They cut that out, then they were appointed. So you know who they put in, their people. They made British officials immune to criminal prosecution. So, you know, they could get away with anything they wanted then. And the Quartering Act required colonists to house and quarter British troops on demand, including in their private house. So they pretty much were taking the rights of the people away. Well, they thought by doing this that they were just going to shut everything down. And Americans, you don't mess with Americans. I think that's what they're going to find out soon. The colonists rose up from other parts and came to the aid of Boston and New England. In 1774, September 1774, the First Continental Congress met in Philadelphia, and the resistance began. And you know what happened? Led to the Revolutionary War. The United States won its independence. So, don't mess with Americans. We have to get going again, because things are happening that will not go over very well. It's like the Japanese found out when they bombed Pearl Harbor. They awakened a sleeping giant. So, and now, so on this date, Larry King had a talk show. I think I watched him once or twice. Like I said, never was big into TV, and I didn't care for him. Anyway, he had his final, hosted on this day in 2010, the final episode of his CNN talk show, and I don't watch CNN. So, the way he got his name, his original name was Zeiger, Z-E-I-G-E-R. And he moved from Miami to Brooklyn, and he got King from a liquor store called King's Wholesale. And the rest of it, I read about him. I was like, I don't really care. So here's Ludwig, like my little Ludwig. He sits on my keyboard. My favorite composer. I like more of the romantic era composers like Tchaikovsky. Who else? Now I'm drawn Dvorak. You know, several of them. Brahms, I don't know if he was in that era or a little bit before. You know, Mozart, some people are big fans of Mozart. I was never a real big fan of his, even though I appreciate the talent, the way his music is written. But I'd rather listen to Beethoven. So I think that's about it. What else was I going to talk about? Nothing much. I'm just trying to get ready. I looked up, because I only have one bedroom apartment. I'm trying to get it cleaned up before my son comes. I had bought all this stuff to do yarn dyeing, which I will get to. But I was looking at it today. I said, this has to go in storage for the time being, because I have stuff all over the place. So I hope everybody's doing well. And I actually may be able to catch up on watching videos tonight. You know, the YouTube videos of everybody. So take care, and bye now.